Good morning, and today it is the 3rd of October 2024, and some of you have been following my stories, which is really nice to see. But here's one story I'll tell you that's not so good. I love cars, and I have had some very old cars, and it's nice to drive them, and reminds me of when I was young, which is a long time ago. About 31 years ago, I bought an MG Roadster, a chrome bumper one. If you look it up, you'll see what it was. And I completely restored it. And it was very relaxing to go in the garage with my spanners and slowly, over a couple of years, build this car. And so I finally managed to get it finished, and it was concourse. It was beautiful, shining not a mark on it, like a brand new MG Roadster. And Lewis, my eldest, used to say to me, "Dad, what are you doing in the garage?" He said, "You should be out playing football with me or out with the dog or something." I said, "Well, Lewis, when it's finished, we'll do an adventure." So I finally finished the car, and I took it down to have its MOT, which is what you do with old cars as well. But it would pass, of course. I insured it and taxed it, and I said to Lewis when I got home, I said, "Right, Lewis, go up in the attic and get the tent out." "Oh, Dad," he says, "are we going to the lakes in the car?" I said, "No, we're going around Europe." So I had a friend as well who had an MG very similar to ours, and his son's similar age to Lewis. And we took these two MGs and we drove around Paris, Switzerland, Austria, over the mountains, just camping. And it was an adventure I thought that Lewis would remember I did with him. Now, I've got another son called Ross. Ross the boss, we call him. And he used to say to me, "Dad, when I'm 11, will you do an adventure with me?" I said, "Yeah, okay." Well, Ross wasn't that keen on cars in those days, but he loved animals. So, on I think his 10th or 11th birthday, he came downstairs looking for a big box with a toy car in it, and all he got was an envelope. I said, "Come on, Ross, open the envelope," and his little face went sad. Didn't get a toy car. So he opened the envelope, and in the envelope was 2 tickets for me and him to go on safari in Kenya to see the animals. So, a couple of weeks later, we got dropped off, and we jumped on an aeroplane and we flew all the way to Mombasa. We got a pickup truck that took us all the way in over a river with thousands of people trying to get on a boat. It was quite an adventure. We got to the hotel. And when we got to the hotel, we got our keys and we put our bags in the room. And the man who showed us to our room said, "Don't leave the windows open. The monkeys come in and pinch all your stuff." Right? Oh, well, okay. So I said, after that journey, "Ross, your dad needs a pint." So we went downstairs to the bar and I got myself a pint. And I'd only been that much down from a pint, and a man came round, room 302, room 302. Oh, we'd just got our keys 20 minutes before. "Oh, that's us." And a man gave us a note, and I've still got that note. "Ring this number urgently, there's been an accident at home." Oh, so I thought the wife had crashed the car or something like that, because she was always doing that. So I went to reception. Mobile phones in those days didn't work in Kenya. So I went to reception and rang a Preston number, and it got answered by paediatric neurologist Dr. Pat Tomlin. She said, "I'm afraid your son Lewis has been hit by a car, might not live the night. Suggest you come home." So we went upstairs, got our bags, never unpacked them, went back to Mombasa Airport. The plane we'd come in had gone, so we had to catch a flight from Mombasa to Nairobi, stayed overnight, slept on some stairs, caught the next flight home to London, and then from London to Manchester, got met by my dad and taken to Preston Hospital. And there was Lewis on life support in intensive care. And he had 3 months on life support, another 3 months still in intensive care, another 6 months, I think, on Ward 6 at Preston Hospital, still in a coma until he finally moved. And that was my trip to Kenya. How about that? But we did go 2 or 3 years later and see the animals. And I tell you, Kenya is one of the best places to go for a holiday, or it was, I don't know about now. But we saw the elephants, we saw the giraffes, we saw hippopotamuses, monkeys and all sorts of lions and tigers and all those. And I do suggest you go to Kenya on safari, because it's one of the best trips I've done, and I've seen the world. Bye-bye. Enjoy the stories.